My ranch had always been a quiet place where my workers could do their jobs. We kept to ourselves and respected every surrounding property. But one afternoon, a group of HOA guards suddenly entered the ranch. They claimed they had authority to take control of the workers. The guards arrived without showing any legitimate authority over my property. They ordered my workers to stop what they were doing. My crew asked them to leave the ranch. Instead, the guards escalated the situation. My workers were stunned when the guards told them they were being detained. Nobody understood why they were being treated like criminals. They had been working on private property all morning. Then the guards made a decision that changed everything. The situation became even more serious when additional vehicles arrived. My workers were kept together, while the guards continued making accusations. Nobody had contacted me before taking control of the situation. I was still away from the ranch when it happened. One of my workers finally managed to contact me. His voice told me something was seriously wrong. He explained that the HOA guards had taken control of the ranch entrance. Then he told me they were claiming to have legal authority. I listened carefully to what my worker was telling me. Then I looked down at the federal credentials beside me. There was something the HOA guards didn't know about me. I wasn't just the owner of the ranch. I was a federal marshal. I checked the information I had been given. The situation was now serious enough to require an official response. I contacted the appropriate federal team and explained what had happened. Then I headed straight back toward my ranch. Within a short time, the federal team was on the road with me. We weren't going there to create chaos. We were going there to establish the facts and handle the legal situation properly. And the HOA guards had no idea who was approaching. The convoy finally reached the ranch entrance. The guards turned around and saw the federal vehicles approaching. My workers immediately recognized me and looked relieved. Then I stepped out and showed my credentials. Victoria arrived expecting the guards to have everything under control. Instead, she found a federal team standing at my ranch gate. She pointed toward my workers and demanded that they all be arrested. Then she looked at me and realized she had made a very serious mistake. Victoria demanded to know why federal officers were on her scene. I calmly explained that the ranch was private property. Then I identified myself and explained my federal authority. The confidence disappeared from her face almost instantly. I showed Victoria my federal credentials. She stared at them for several seconds without saying anything. The guards had treated my workers as if they had no rights on their own job site. Now she understood exactly who had arrived. I asked my team to document everything that had happened. The workers explained exactly when the guards arrived. We collected statements and reviewed the available records. The facts were becoming very clear. My workers told me the guards had ordered them to stop working. They had never been shown any valid authority over the ranch. They were simply doing the jobs I had hired them to do. I promised them the situation would be handled properly. My team then spoke directly with the HOA guards. They were asked to explain who had authorized them to detain the workers. Their answers didn't match the claims Victoria had made. The entire story was beginning to unravel. Then my team confirmed that there was an existing federal warrant connected to the investigation. The warrant had to be handled through the proper legal process. I reviewed the documentation with the team before taking any action. Everything had to be based on verified authority, not accusations. I explained to Victoria that the federal warrant was now being served. She suddenly stopped arguing about my workers. Her attention shifted to the legal documents in my team's hands. She realized the situation was much bigger than an HOA dispute. The federal officers then carried out the warrant according to procedure. The guards cooperated as the situation was brought under control. My workers were no longer being treated as suspects. Victoria could only stand there and watch the consequences unfold. Once everything was settled, I checked on every one of my workers. They were shaken, but they were safe. I told them nobody had the right to intimidate them on the ranch. Then I turned toward Victoria one final time. The HOA thought it could use its private guards to control my ranch. Instead, the situation exposed how far they had overstepped their authority. I protected my workers, followed the proper legal process, and let the facts speak for themselves. Like, subscribe, and tell me, where are you watching from?